Hello, everybody, and welcome to Saber Dice. We are back for some more Numenera Fury. And with me here is the usual cast and crew here for episode 3, so we'll go around, introduce our cast and crew. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Saber Dice. We are back for some more... I double played because I had the YouTube still going. 10 out of 10. Pro streamer. So let's go around. We'll introduce our cast and crew and talk about our sponsors today. As always, you can find me here every Monday night and on Unmade Gaming for the rest of the week on all forms of social media. We'll start with Kenny. Kenny, who are you and where can we find you on the internet?
I'm Kenny and I'm playing Silica as usual. And you can find me at twitch.tv/Kenny Hill, KENIHILL. And I play mostly safe for work, family friendly type content.
So the opposite of what we do here.
Yes.
Perfect.
Why role playing's a thing.
Yeah. We'll jump over to Jordan. Who are you and where can we find you on the internet?
My name is Jordan. You can find me here on YouTube. I run a channel called Forgotten Realms Explained where we dive into the Forgotten Realms myth and lore. So it's youtube.com/Jordan with a PH, JORPHDAN.
Sweet. And Bill, same for you. Where can we find you on the internet and who are you?
Yep, I'm Bill. I run a YouTube channel called Wyloch's Crafting Vids, and I show you how to make DIY craft your own terrain for your role-playing games with very, very cheap materials, cardboard, hot glue, that kind of thing.
Sweet. And last but not least, Ted, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are our sponsors today?
Absolutely. Nerdarchist Ted of Nerdarchy quote-unquote fame. You can find us all on social media, Twitch, YouTube, all under Nerdarchy. It's mostly stuff about, D&D and other role-playing games, so go check it out. Our sponsors are, as they've been so far, we have Archania Workshop, the great terrain and minis that are 3D printed and shipped directly to you. Got a coupon code down in the description, which is just Saver Dice, as well as returning, we have Pyromancers.com, Dungeon Panner Studios. If you want to create awesome maps that you can put in all your little details and get your great campaign prep, go check them out.
Sweet. And let's jump right into things here. Previously on Fury. Braving one of the most ferocious storms the Steadfast has ever seen, Wyloch, Silica, Arri, and Zariff, along with the remaining crew of the Albatross, discovered a strange ovular structure centered in the eye of the storm, extending far above the waves. Determined to succeed at their mission, the 4 investigators boarded one of the smaller landing vessels, tied a large cable off to the ship, and began to row out to the structure. As the small craft began its approach, the first rays of the new day's sun broke the eye of the storm and rested on the strangely smooth surface. No sooner did the sun's light hit did the structure begin to shudder and quake, the lines running down its surface splitting and widening to form petal-like walls that slowly started to fall away, revealing more petal-like appendages within. Climbing into the structure, Silica took point, leading Wyloch, Zariff, and Arri to the tip of one of the petals, where they saw a massive forest of strange flora spreading out before them, growing thicker the closer to the center. The group's consensus was to head deeper into the forest, towards the center of the island. However, in passing through a particularly tangled section of the jungle, each member of the King's exploratory team became ensconced in vines and received a strange vision that spoke of worlds colliding and ended with a strange choice. Unable to fully wrap their heads around the visions, they proceeded further inside and encountered their first signs of life. So, after a harrowing trek through the jungle, after having a very strenuous combat, some of you are unconscious. Yeah, yes. Some of the worst rolling in recorded RPG history. I believe.
I don't know. I've seen some bad dice rolls for a session on Critical Role. So
that's true. That is true. I believe that Arri and Silica are currently in some form of unconsciousness right now, and Wyloch is currently being dragged by the back of his coattails as he is immobilized on the ground. And Zariff's just fine. He's just peachy keen.
I'm tired. My speed is a little lower than I'd like it to be, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, you seem like you're having a great day. Kenny, you look like you have a question.
Unconscious? Question mark?
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the episode, you guys received some GM intrusions, and you got some free XP as you felt darts into your necks.
That's right.
And you dropped into unconsciousness. Fortunately, Wyloch and Zariff saw the people emerge from the woods and sort of firemen carry sling you over their shoulder, and someone grabbed the back of Wyloch's neck and started dragging him in the direction of Zariff. So Zariff, you see the man with the bow standing next to you, and you see two more men and what you're guessing is a female. They have their faces are masked by like not cowls, but like a shemagh kind of. So you can only see from here to here. So they're walking towards you in dark silence.
And are the ones carrying my companions?
Yes, they are.
Why have you attacked my friends?
We saved your friends.
We had defeated the spiders. Why did you attack us?
Those are our arrows. And he points to the two spiders that have the two arrows that do not belong to you in them. You were surely going to die.
But why? Like, I'm going to point to the bodies that have the darts in their neck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Why?
This one, and he like motions to Arri. This one looks formidable. This one fought well and fast. This one is immobile. He's no threat. And there's four of us. To you.
But you can obviously sit here and talk to me, so clearly you could have talked to them as well.
Right, we have no fear of you. There's four of us to your one. You're strangers here.
I eke out a chuckle from the ground.
You are strangers here. You appeared from nowhere, and you were attacked. Or you attacked them, I'm not entirely sure, but...
They attacked us first, I assure you.
Right. Right now you're disrupting the forest, and I don't know who you are or what intent you have on the island.
We are trying to find out what it is.
It is our home.
It is not a... It appeared in our ocean. Vast waters.
It has always been here.
It is new to us. We are trying to find out the cause of a massive storm.
And he looks up, and you can still see the ring of the storm extending out around this entire island. We have noticed that.
Is that storm normally here when the flower opens?
No. It has only been here for a few cycles.
Now, how long has the storm been raging for us?
For you guys, it's probably been like a few weeks.
How long are your cycles? Sun and not sun? Is that what you refer to as cycle?
No, that is we don't have a name for that. The island closes at the end of the time. I don't. A cycle is many openings. And he like moves his hand to like motion an opening.
Do you count the numbers to determine a cycle? Or is it?
I do not. But we have someone that keeps track of this. It doesn't mean anything to us anymore. There's no reason to keep track of it.
Now, do you have a reversal, an antidote to what you have done to my friends? I can assure you we've come to your island with no harm, only to seek knowledge.
Oh, these will wake up soon. This one, and he grabs Wyloch's arm, and he like kind of yanks your arm up, and you can see where you have the bites of the spider marks, and you can see, well, both of you can see that the 4 puncture marks of the spider fangs has already started to like swell and bloat, and essentially the lines, it's really blurry right now because the way it's like swollen, but you can see that the 4 lines form like a non-Euclidean shape and the purple bruise is beginning to take a similar shape of that. And as you Zariff, as you look, you can see the same purple formations on Arri and on Silica, except they're different. Each bite mark is a different non-Euclidean shape. And were you up close? You were up close for a little bit. You recall seeing the exact same shapes on each of the different spiders.
The bellies.
Yeah. So each spider had its own unique shape, and the spider that bites you, your bite mark takes on that shape also. Is kind of what you got out of that, based on your little row with the spider people, which I'm sure will be just fine. Be totally fine. But he grabs it and looks and says, "This will stay."
The mark?
Yes.
Why does it stay? Can it not be healed?
No. It doesn't. They will be fine.
They'll be fine, but the mark will stay.
Yes. The poison will run its course.
And it runs its course in damage, but permanently marks the body. That is interesting.
Yes.
Can I mumble from the ground?
Yeah, you can speak.
What do you call this place?
The forest.
Have you ever been outside of this place?
No. This is the... You ask about this place or everything?
Everything.
This is the Island of Undoing. That is what Bonobo calls it.
Say that name again?
The Island of Undoing.
No, what someone calls it. You said Bonobo?
Bonobo.
Does that jog anything in my memory from my my knowledge of Numenera? Actually, my skilled or specialty in understanding Numenera?
It does not. Your guess is that this is a person's name.
Oh, okay.
Is he your chieftain, your leader?
Yes, he leads the village.
May we speak and treat with him?
Yes, you can. I will bring your friends. I will bring this one. And he motions to Wyloch's current languid form on the ground. And he says, they will recover. It is almost time for the closing. And he kind of looks up at the sky. And you can see that the sun is the sun's waning. It's going down towards nightfall. So if you want to carry your friends back to the ship, now is your chance, Zariff. But it looks like you may be spending the night on the island.
It looks that way because I can't carry 3 of them, and I doubt they're gonna carry them all the way to the boat. So
yeah, they are not. So they kind of look to you and said, "If you are fine, you can walk. If not," and he motions to one of the he kind of nods to one of the other guys, and you can see that he has a blow dart in his hand.
No, I'm tired. I'm winded, but I can walk on my own.
Good. It is this way. And he begins to lead you through the forest. And
so I'm gonna try to see if I can get my bearings, just in case they decide to do something funny that I can be able to backtrack.
Sure. Yeah. Roll me. I'll say roll me an intelligence difficulty 4, unless you have some kind of navigational sense to reduce that down.
Would searching work?
Sure. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So you're able to kind of track down and it's a forest, so everything kind of blends together. But you pick out trees or a strange flower formation that looks different enough that you can kind of make your own landmarks. And you're fairly confident you can find your way back.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you guys are traveling for your best guess, and Wyloch, your ass kind of hurts. You're being dragged. They don't pick you up because you're conscious enough. So you're kind of scrambling. so you guys are escorted for probably about 45 minutes to an hour. Bill, you were gonna say something?
If that's the case, am I technically resting while I'm being dragged?
I don't think being drugged for 45
I'm at my 10-minute rest.
Okay.
For recovery roll.
I will say that you could take a 10-minute rest while being drugged through the forest. Okay,
Alright.
so you can add those 7 points anywhere into your thing, which should give you enough to be able to stand, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. So let's say about 20 minutes into the trek, you feel invigorated enough to stand up, and you are able to do so. And you're able to kind of walk, and the guy looks at you, and like you see him, like as you begin to get up, you feel him tighten onto you, and if you're quick enough, you see him reach for the blow dart at his side, and the one that was speaking to Zariff puts his hand out and kind of nods and grabs you by under the arm and kind of helps lift you up so that you're now standing. He says, "You have recovered. Are you well?"
I haven't been well for a really long time.
I see
I
that.
need context. But I can walk if that's what you need.
Good. This way. It is far. And he continues walking. The first thing you guys would notice is that, unlike you guys kind of clomping and cutting your way through the forest, these guys seem to, obviously they know exactly where they're going, and they are able to move between the vines, and they seem to be very non-disruptive towards the forest in general. And seeing that you guys are in various states of tiredness, they'll stop and like move branches around and like push a tree aside so you can kind of walk by. But you guys travel on for like about another hour, and in the distance you see that there is a large a large blue tower that juts up. Zariff, you recognize this tower as the one you saw when you climbed the tree. However, at the base of it, now you see that there is a large, probably 10, 12 foot high metal wall around this entire thing. And you can see that there is a small gate, and there are 2 guards that look similarly garbed, standing outside of this. Each one of them has you assume some kind of metal based on this entire island, right? It's like a pitchfork, but it's only 2 prongs, and each one is holding that, guarding this door. And if you are both aware, feel free to roll me a intelligence. This is for looking around. So if you have searching or some kind of ability for perception, this would be an intelligence 3.
This is me too?
Yeah, yep. If you're able to look around, you can totally do that. Cool. That's 1.
And my roll 20 closed. Sorry.
That's
sec.
okay.
Coming back up. All right.
Slowing down the stream, Bill.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Riveting television.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Pro YouTubers over here.
All right, straight up intelligence, right?
Yeah, intelligence 3, unless you have some kind of perception-related skills.
We'll say no. No effort. No effort. God, no effort.
Whoa!
Perfect. Yeah, so, let's see here. That's a
All right.
guys,
Who needs that? Who needs that?
already on fire. I think Bill, you've already rolled max on healing and a 19. So you're done for the night. It's 1s for the rest of the day. You're tapped out. So, Zariff, you see that there are people kind of milling about just outside of, like, just if the wall is kind of circular, right, because it goes around the tower, you can kind of see them on the peripherals of the actual wall itself. And this is a clearing you're kind of entering, and you can see that there's like a few of them moving in and out of the tree line towards like the back section of this. They are not similarly dressed as the people carrying you. In fact, these guys have hoods up, and they seem to be watching you. Wyloch, you see that with that massive mini crit there, you see that there is one of them in particular that is watching you, but he keeps looking back and like he keeps making facial gestures, and every once in a while you'll see his hand go up and he'll make like a very subtle hand gesture, and then someone else responds and moves to that. So this looks like there's someone in charge of these hooded people here.
So when I see, if I'm close enough that there's maybe not eye-to-eye contact, but like visualization that they see me seeing them, I will just give a nod.
So the first thing you notice as soon as you like nod to them is the 4 people that are escorting you sort of close ranks, and they escort you harder, right, if you will. They sort of close ranks, like you're not sure if it's protectively, defensively, aggressively, but they sort of they take that half step in and more navigate you towards this. Wyloch, is there anything you want to do while you're looking around unconscious?
So there's this group of hooded individuals at the tree line. We're outside the wall. They're shuttling us toward the wall.
And toward the gate, yeah.
Shuttling.
Yep.
Okay, no, I just kind of go along with it.
Okay. You both hear them, like these 4 people, speak back and forth in a language that none of you understand. And they kind of herd you towards the door. The 2 men there, they stand by, and you hear doo, 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 as one of them bangs on the gate, and then it's just metal screeching as the 2 metal gate doors sort of roll to the side or are dragged or pulled somewhere. But you hear this metal on metal, that shrill screeching noise as it gets torn open.
That was really good.
And before you see this massive blue tower that is extending up into the sky, and you see that there are squat little houses that some of them are metal, like metal shards and metal, like sheet metal basically, combined with wood, and also the strange blue. It looks almost like netting. The closest like reference point you guys would have is it looks similar to, but different enough from your the sails on your ship. The biggest difference you see between the sails and this is that these blue sheets have like almost lightning just streaking down through it. Like every once in a while, you just see it kind of move, and like another like almost lightning strike goes through. And the moment you step through, the moment you're escorted through, you hear, and the gate closes back again.
But what we absolutely notice is there's no tears in those.
There are no tears in those. Yes, that is a fact. Would you like to rest?
If you have a place where I and my companions can recover from our travels, our hard-fought battle, that would be lovely.
Yes, this way. And he begins to lead you towards the blue tower. You can obviously see your new and unknown people, so all of the eyes in the village are just kind of watching you. Most of these people are wearing muted reds and yellows, whereas the people outside in the hooded cowls were wearing blue. Their cowls were blue. So everyone kind of has, like, you can see that the soldier types, the ones that have escorted you, and the guards, they seem to match almost as if they were in kind of uniform. But the people of this village, they are wearing similar colors, but it's kind of all over the place. Head wraps, a vest, whatever they decide to wear, but it's all similar colors. As you're escorted towards the blue tower, everyone, like I said, kind of keeps an eye on you and watching you. And the first thing you notice as you get towards the tower, Zariff, you're pretty good with distances, being an explorer. You're probably a good 100 to 150 feet out, and the moment you cross that threshold, you feel like subtle vibrations in the ground. And the closer these guys march you towards the tower, the more, not quite violent, but the more obvious these vibrations get. Until you're about 20 feet to the tower, and then they're like you're in an earthquake.
Oh, jeez.
And you can see that there are houses here, and there's people walking around like this is completely normal, and they seem to be unaffected by this, and there's nothing like falling down or anything like that. Everything seems to be made to exist in this environment. And they lead you towards a building that is almost abutting the tower itself. It's one of the larger buildings in here. And they say, "You may rest here. You will have the best night of rest in this location."
Thank you.
And they kind of lead you inside, and you can see this is like kind of like a yurt, right? But it's a yurt that's only on, like, one of its sides is flat because it's abutting the tower itself. And you can see that there are mats laid down, like straw mats and grass pillows for you guys to lay down on. And there's a hole in the center, and like what makes for a little fire pit in the center of that. And they kind of unceremoniously just plop down Arri and plop down Silica. And they say, you are free to explore the village if you so choose. Everyone will be suspicious of you, but you may talk to them. Don't leave the walls.
I clapped one of them on the shoulder and say, "Who were they?"
So I assume you class like the one that was originally dragging you. You see his eyes shift to the person who's been talking the whole time, and the person kind of nods and he says, "They were. We call them the Carols."
The Caris?
The Carols.
Carols.
They are not welcome here.
Are there a lot of them?
There weren't, and then there were. It was only a few. They have
Growing in numbers.
They have convinced people from the village to join them. They are banished from the village. There was a ship that crashed several cycles ago during the storm, at the beginning of the storm. They convinced them to join as well. Their numbers have grown.
Do they turn others into like them?
They are like you and I, but their ideals do not fit in the city.
Are you at war with them now?
Not war. There is no open hostility. They're just not allowed in the city. They want to bring harm to the city. So they are banished.
Interesting. All right. Well, we will rest, and I'll try to position the Silica and Arri.
Yep.
And make them more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll grab them the best place I can to just sit and rest for a little bit.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, so you guys are able to the two of you that are conscious are free to do whatever the hell you want. The rest of you can roll me, let's call it a D4. Roll me a D4, just so I can see how many hours you're going to be passed the hell out.
Man. How do we roll a specific?
Type so in the chat box. You type it /R space 1D4.
Oh, okay, easy peasy.
Yep. Cool.
I think.
Cool. Cool. So Arri, you will be awake shortly. Silica, on the other hand, you need your beauty rest, obviously.
Obviously.
Have you seen you? Of course you do. So the four men look at you, Zariff. It seems like you've been taking charge of this, and they kind of nod to you, and they begin to turn and leave this yurt.
So I take a 10-minute rest, and get back a number of points to my speed pool. How quickly does Arri come to?
Probably within like 30 or 40 minutes after getting to the town, he'll begin to stir. Yeah.
All right, Wyloch, what is your intentions here?
I say we rest and wait for them to recover and take stock of everything that's happened. So there was another ship, much like ours, that crashed at the beginning of the storm, and they were assimilated into the Carols. We have no idea what those creatures are that attacked us.
Are those the spiders?
No, the Carols are the people that were in the hoods.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Kenny
I
and I,
feel like
we were both
need to dig in a
confused.
bit. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I assumed that they were referring to the spiders.
No, they were referring to the hooded people. I assumed that's what Wyloch was asking. Who were those people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, so the people outside with the blue hoods on, those are called the Carols.
Well, and then I assumed that they were like guards at the wall, so that's why I had nodded to them.
Yeah.
So if I could, kind of like before he leaves, I guess, like,
sure.
Go back to that conversation and I assumed that they were guards, not enemies. That's I was trying to offer respect to their numbers.
You couldn't know. They don't mean harm to you. They don't hurt any of the villagers usually. They just try to convince them that their way is the right way. It is not, I assure you.
What is it that you're so at odds with them over?
They believe... Sit. Like motions to the other mats on the floor. And he kind of squats down, and the other three kind of form a half moon around him. He says, the island, it takes a toll. You will be safe here in the protection of the Tower of Life. Outside of the Tower's protection, the island will take its toll on you. You will eventually die. We have ways of helping that, but they believe that the Tower is evil, it is blight, and that their god controls the island, and the toll the island takes from you is their payment to be safe here. They wish to, I believe they wish to destroy the Tower of Life.
Interesting. What were those spider creatures?
Oh, yes. The Cephalian. They are native here. They live here, they fight the Zunok. Most people just refer to them as they or them, the Zunok. They are a blight. They are bloodthirsty creatures that fight for the love of fighting and kill without regard. If you see them, run.
What do the Zunok look like?
Oh, you will know when you see one. They are. He puts his hand up. Your size, tail, fangs, weaponry. Red. He motions to himself. They won't save you from the spiders. They'll kill you, and they'll kill the spiders.
So why would the spiders attack us if they fight the Zunok? Or do they fight everything?
You look like food.
Well, thanks to you and your compatriots, we were not.
Yes. Well, we shall see. You'll talk to Bonobo when you are... And he kind of looks to Silica and says, when you are healed.
Don't be looking at me like that.
I mean, you're super unconscious. I mean,
I kind of throw a look to Zariff, and because I've got a really uneasy feeling with this information. I throw him a look and say, not say anything. I just sort of all right, let's take a moment and powwow.
All right. So thank you for your hospitality. We'll take our rest now, and we will abide by your rules. Stay within the walls.
The one that's sitting down sort of stands up, and he seems to be the guy in charge of this squad. He walks over to you and puts a hand out and sort of waits for you, and he'll clasp your forearm if you put your hand out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he looks to you and says, if you need anything, I would stay here for now. But if you need anything, there will be one of my men outside. I am Jarl Corrado. You can ask for me.
You can't give names like Bob and Steve, right?
Nope. So one of the nice things with Numenera is that I have an entire deck of NPCs that actually tell you stats and other cool stuff and personality. It's the only game I've seen do it. It's pretty dope. Yeah, so I just, oh, this is a new name, and here's what this guy's about, and here's what he does, and here's what he's good at. So it's kind of cool.
That is cool.
It's a little fun little feature that Numenera has, which I'm a fan of. They also do it for ciphers and oddities and all kinds of cool stuff.
So I'm gonna guess it's been at least 25, 30 minutes since we
Yeah, this is
got
probably
it-
you'll
got
probably
inside.
see Arri is stirring at this point as they turn to leave. Arri is stirring.
I just
So look,
stretch.
watch out! There's a guy with a blowgun. What? What's going on? Where are we?
All right, relax.
Where's my hammer?
We have all of your belongings.
Okay. This looks nice.
All right, so we will catch you up in just a moment, Arri. Wyloch, you seem slightly disturbed. What is it that you're seeing?
The Carols think that the tower is evil.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone here seems to think that it grants eternal life. So what if the Carols are correct?
It could be a problem.
Yeah. I think we're going to tread carefully.
I think that our words must be used with caution while within these walls, while within this place. I don't want to be in the middle of their war. I think we need to speak to this Bonobo and figure out whether there's any information here in regards to the storm. If there is, let's garner it and get out. If there is not, we need to make haste.
And it seems like the Carol activity picked up heavily.
With the storm.
Coincident with the storm. That seems to be our best lead. Because I'll be honest, for a moment I forgot why we're here.
I am one that's usually focused upon the mission. This is not anything different. So I look at, if we speak to these people here, Bonobo and his compatriots, I do think that at some point in time we will need to speak to the Carols as well, without drawing ire from either side.
And then I'm wondering if there's anything we can do to help Silica heal quicker, because she rolled that 4 hours. Like you said, it's rough in here. There's straw mats.
Yeah.
So if I were to I still have my inflatable wrist scrunchie.
Okay.
If I blew that up and used it as a pillow, could that knock off an hour?
Sure. What I'll say is
You
roll
guys know
me.
anything about healing that could knock off an hour.
So I'll say roll me an intelligence. Because of its 4 hours, I'll say difficulty 4, and I'll give you 1 bonus point for using your cipher to aid in this.
All right. So difficulty 4, no effort. Not an asset, a bonus.
No, a
right?
bonus. Yep.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Wow, with the
Cool.
rolls tonight, thankfully.
So with that, I will knock it down to 1 hour. So she will awaken in 1 hour. You feel like you've assessed the damage. You've kind of patched up any of the open wounds, because there's a few bite marks, right? And you can see that there's some kind of this purplish liquid kind of oozing out of them. So you assess the damage. You kind of wipe up the wounds. You bandage them as best you can with what you guys have, your own clothes, some of the straw mat, and you give her a nice, comfortable flotation device to get her beauty rest on. So that will take it down by 3 hours. So she should be waking up in the next 30 or 40 minutes, judging by how long you've been in here.
So, Arri, there's a group of people clearly living here within this island. They call this place theirs. It's always been here, according to them. There's another sect of people, another group, some of which were part of this city, some of which that are not. They came upon a ship that crashed. They refer to themselves as the Carols. These people are at odds with belief. Some say this tower that we're near is good. The ones outside say it's bad.
So the natives that took us in are or I should say the people that took us in are natives to this island? And the ones guarding the outside perimeter are not natives to this island. They came on a boat?
Is that correct, Mike?
So from what you've gathered, there are the people say they live on this island. You never got any information whether or not they've lived here their whole life or not. It seems like the one that was escorting you here, they've been here as long as they remember. The people that were outside used to be part of this village, and they convinced more people to leave the village. And there's also a crew of people that have crashed, and they assimilated the crashed ship.
All right, that's what I thought, and that's what I thought I said. So there you go. So Silica's awake. I've informed you all of this. You're up to speed as best as possible.
Are we prisoners here, Zariff?
We are not within those confines. We are waiting to speak to their leader, Bonobo, and we are tasked, however you want to say it, to stay within the walls. But this place will close soon, and we will be stuck within the island for the night. So I say it is easy to get our rest, regain some of our strength, speak with their leader, and begin plotting our next course of action for our mission, our quest.
I'm going to suggest that we find that other shipwreck and start there.
I doubt, considering what we saw of the current, that there will be any information about a ship. We sailed around several times before it opened, and we didn't see any evidence of a ship, right?
Not that you know of, no.
Yeah, we'd probably have to ask the Carols directly about that event if we wanted to get any information about it.
Mm-hmm.
On the note of getting our strength back, because I would like to do that, can I make an action recovery right now, like while we're resting and waiting?
So you can make one. You can make any of your action, your 10-minute. Actually, your action. I believe you spent that already, right?
Nope,
okay.
I have not made any.
So you can make your
recovery
action,
rolls.
your 10-minute. You can make up to your hour one. The only one you can't make is the 10
3
hour.
different times.
Mm-hmm. Yep. However, once you have a long rest, essentially, you'll get them all back, and you'll be back at full health.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and at least do the 1 action and the 10-minute one because I need to make some healing heals.
And we've been waiting for an hour, right?
Mhm.
'Cause we got it. So can I do my 1 hour?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep.
4. Take it.
Actually, do I need to? Yeah, no, just take it. Don't be what in the? Okay, you know what? I'm glad I took it. Glad I took it because sometimes you get rolls like that.
Yep.
That's fine. We're fine.
Yeah. So
Arri
for
kinda shakes his head and he's like, even though this place is protecting us, it still feels like a prison. I don't like the fact that we can't leave.
We can leave this building. We can walk amongst the city. So that means we are not truly prisoners. But at the same time, they did ask that we not leave the walls. I think that they are leery that we will join forces with these Carols and bolster their numbers. And if all new visitors join their enemies, eventually their way of life in this tower will go away. I understand. I see their point. I have no concern for their quarrels. I have no concern for, whether this tower is good or bad, unless it has to do with our quest.
Well, as good guests, we should respect our host's wishes. And is anybody awake at this hour anyways? Because I would like a drink.
So this hour, as far as you know, so you've only seen the inside of this hut. But if you step outside, it is still daytime.
Okay.
Yeah, the flower itself hasn't closed up yet.
Gotcha. So we haven't really been taking too much time that the sun is completely
No,
set.
so
Or
it
that
was
the flower has closed up.
probably mid-afternoon by the time you guys got into your spider row, and it took maybe 3 hours between then and now with your recovery and the travel here. So it's probably like our time, like 6 p.m. Right? So it's late afternoon.
Gotcha. So in that case, I, after having been knocked out, probably want to walk this off a little bit and explore the town and talk to people and see what kind of information I can possibly
Absolutely.
gain.
Sure.
Especially about the chieftain Bonobo.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Or Bambino or whatever.
Bambino,
his
little
name
Bambino,
is.
whatever you want to call him.
Sweet little Bambino.
So are you headed out by yourself? Is anyone accompanying you?
Oh yeah, I'm not going out by myself. Who wants to come with?
I will accompany you.
Okay. And Wyloch, what are you doing while they begin to head out and wander around the town here?
Cloak up, follow around, shifty.
Okay. So you're gonna be the strider of the group. Okay, cool. So we'll follow Silica and Arri. Where are you headed? What are you looking for, Silica? You seem to be a lady on a mission. So what are you going for here?
Well, I know that one of the rules of adventuring is when you need information, you need to also find a drink to go with it.
Sure.
So I'm gonna see if I can find some sort of bar or like tiki bar hut thing. You know,
Okay.
we got this jungle vibe. Maybe there's some sweet coconut drinks.
Cool. So roll me an intelligence. We'll call it 3, to see if you can search this place. This would be anything related to perception to try to find this place, because everything looks kind of this. Everything's like a hutty, and you can see that it's like I said, there's partly wood, partly metal, partly this blue material. To see how long it takes you to find this thing.
Okay.
Arri, you can make the roll as well if you're accompanying her.
Please, Arri. make
What's the
that
difficulty
roll.
again? Sorry.
3.
Woohoo!
Cool. So you wander for a little bit, Silica, as you're kind of, you take the lead and you're more or less letting Arri come with you, right? So you take the lead and you kind of maneuver around the town, but everything looks. What's Silica's not temperament, but what's her experience with the lower class?
I mean, she's seen slums and things because she's lived in the city. She knows what slums look like.
Sure.
As far as like, and she's been at markets, so she has like a framework for like what industry looks like. But is she getting any of that vibe from this?
So
or is it...
you walk through, and the problem you're having is in markets there are stalls and there are labels, there are signs. In the slums, everything kind of looks the same, but even still, sometimes there's a sign. There's no signs here. Everyone here seems to know exactly where they're going. So you're looking for the obvious tells of like a sign or someone waving a flag that says, "Hey, I'm selling some shit over here," right? You don't find that. However, Arri is a small town country boy, so he is used to the less obvious things and the everyone knows everyone kind of mentality. He picks up the sign of there's 2 people that are leaving a hut, and they're conversing in, again, a strange language that you guys don't understand, but you see them like clink this, not quite a glass, but this weird cylindrical, kind of like a thermos, right? So the cylindrical thing, metal cap on it with a handle. You see them clink this, and they kind of smile, and they kind of go their separate ways. It looks like this might be the equivalent to a bar or something. A place that sells drinks, you would assume, Arri. So you're free to point that out if you so choose.
Silica, I'm hungry. I think we can get some food over here. Maybe you can find yourself a drink.
I have a little bit of a like, oh oops moment. Like I should have picked up on it, but I didn't. And it's just like,
I probably let her like walk in front of me and like look around like, well,
as if I know where I'm going.
And start like scratching your head, and then I tap you on the shoulder. I'm like, over there to the left.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Cool. So you guys head over that way. It's slightly larger than the rest of the huts, but again, it looks like a hut. It looks like you just stacked 3 huts together, really. But there is that blue fabric is, once you approach it, you guys realize that it is this weird blue fabric, and it is split. You guys can kind of walk through the split fabric, and you see that there are hanging the same blue fabric, and it seems to me this is kind of lighting this place. It's almost hanging from the rafters in like U shapes, like low hanging drapery, right? And you can see the lightning kind of streaks through it, and it provides light, this luminescence in here. And you see there are several people, again, on these grass mat cushions or these leaf cushions, or it looks fairly natural, around small wooden and metal tables, all drinking out of various sized, these same cylindrical metal devices with handles on them. They don't look like a teacup or a glass or a mug in the traditional sense. They look like almost a device of some kind. there's like a light and a node on one of them that like blinks, and you can see one person like finish theirs and put it down. The node goes out, and you see that there are two people standing at the back of the room by a set of tables that have different kinds of, you assume, Numenera devices, right? There's cables running, there's like spools of tubing that are going from one place to another, there's like, you know, bundles of leaves, there's all kinds of weird things that they are concocting, and you see one of these cylinders underneath it, and you see that there is some kind of liquid spiraling down and bloop, 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 bloop into this thing. The biggest thing you notice besides all of that craziness is that these two people look identical. They are both wearing like magenta clothing, and their heads are completely shaved, and their hands and up to their like mid forearm are covered in these strange gloves that seem to have like different nodes and tools coming out of the fingertips, and you can see them like tweaking things and moving things around on this device that is spilling out some kind of liquid. They seem to be making whatever people are drinking, but neither one of them looks up to you.
But we notice them.
Oh yeah, you for sure notice them. Yeah, they stand out.
And I've been in a bar, you know, I recognize a still when I see one. And so I'm probably going to weave my way through the other patrons, and they're probably the ones I want to talk to if I want any sort of information to be shared. So I'm gonna go up and try to get a drink.
Sure. How do you try to get a drink?
Oh gosh, it's gonna be, you know, I can anticipate the awkwardness, but it's, you know, good evening, gentlemen. What does a lady have to do to get a drink around here?
You see them both turn in unison, and they look back at each other, and they look to you, and they look to Arri, and then in the weirdest tone of voice and like sing-songy, they talk in opposition to each other. This one wants a drink, and each one says the opposite word, as if forming one sentence between the two of them.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I love it. Let's
kind
do
of
it.
like that, yeah. So this kind of goes on. They kind of look to you, and they look back to their device, and they say, "Which drink would you like?"
Your strongest.
That would be the tea. The only drink. And they kind of go back and forth. You see, they grab one of the cylinders out, they clip it into the thing, and you can see like different retractable tools come out of the tips of their gloves, and each one is in tandem moving different cylinders up and down. It's like an abacus kind of thing, and they're like sliding things around, and they look at you again, and they kind of size you up, and they slide other things over and slide things down. And before they hit the flat, like one of them has a finger on the button, and they look to you, and they say, 10 shins.
So they deal in shins, which that is the currency of the continent. So they're familiar with actual, because I'm like, what am I going to trade? Coconuts? I don't know.
Yep.
All right.
So that would for sure stand out to you.
Okay. So yeah, because money, I speak money.
Yeah.
It's one of my languages. So I happen to have 15 shins on me. So I give them 10. I will find a way to make that back, I'm sure. Or just ask Dad for more.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
You'll get home eventually, I'm sure.
So I fork over the cash.
Okay. So they scrape the shins across. And shins are like, for everyone unfamiliar with Numenera, they're just random bits of metal. Right? They don't really have a value. A shin is just a shin. You can actually use shins to like smelt metal and make other cool things, right? It's just sort of scraps that someone has assigned a value to, in the same way that we have paper that someone assigned a value to. So they're like different shaped metal baubles. They just kind of scrape them along and into like a box, and you see them like they pass the box to each other, and then they place it on a shelf. And then the last one hits that button, and you see that everything the liquid kind of coil out, and it. There's like a tamper that kind of presses down on, you assume, some kind of leaf, right? And this purple liquid kind of comes out of it, and it gets like heated up into flame, and it kind of comes up, and once it goes up the spiral, it's red now, and it drips out, and it's like bloop, bloop, bloop into the thing, and it fills up. It takes a good 10 minutes of this entire process, but they just watch the whole process go, unless you interrupt them to ask questions.
So I mean, naturally, I'd be very curious about this whole process, but I'm going to try to rein that in and say, so what can you tell me about Chief Barnabas?
Bonobo.
Yeah.
I get corrected by someone, apparently.
But they have that same on-off laugh. So each one back and forth. Chief Bonobo.
Bonobo.
What do you want to know?
Is he a friendly and fair chief?
We have no problem with him. He has found ways for us to use all of our abilities. We all work together to make the city run.
Abilities? Special abilities? Magical abilities? Magical abilities.
Everyone differs.
Do their gloves and stuff remind me of my mechanical arm, or is it more of like a gauntlet that they wear?
You can roll me an intelligence. It would be difficulty 3.
Let's do that. Mwah, mwah.
Nope. So what you can see from this is that it is for sure a glove. Right, this isn't part of their arm. You can see where their hand goes into it. What it actually is, you're not entirely sure. You can assume it's some kind of Numeneran device, but anything more specific than that, you'd probably have to either ask them or have Wyloch take a look at it. But yeah, this is their hand is definitely in this, or at least part of their arm is in it, right? As far as you can tell, but it does not look like it is fused to their flesh. Yeah, so they continue to watch this. As it spirals out, and as the last drips hit, they clip it, and you can see that steam kind of rises out of it, and they close the lid, and you hear it like, and the light bleep turns on, and they hand it to you.
I take a swig.
Sweet. So this is a tasty tea.
Yeah, is it?
So yeah, I mean it's fairly tasty as far as whatever that does. But this tea will actually heal you for 2 might points.
I can only. I'm down by 1.
You can heal the 1. Yep. Yeah, you can't overheal with
1.
might. Yeah, so it's specifically might points. But this heals you for 2 might points, so 1 for you.
I will take it.
Yeah, so you drink this tea, and it's that kind of like, it's almost cinnamony, right? So it's that warmth, and it kind of like runs down, and you feel invigorated by it, right? It doesn't smell cinnamony. It smells like menthol, right? That minty kind of like wake up fresh kind of thing, but it feels warm, and you can kind of feel it kind of coursing through your body. Like if you drink hot chocolate on a really cold day, that whole torso warmth, that kind of thing, and you feel kind of invigorated.
I compliment the twins on the drink and thank them.
You are welcome. And they both, again, simultaneously turn, and you, to Arri.
I don't think I have any money. I was trying to remember that. Is that something that we start with, or?
Yeah, you do start with it. Let's say you have at least 10 shins, right?
10 shins? Okay.
Yeah. You have at least enough for one of
drink,
these.
Right?
Yeah,
Do you have any
class.
food?
They look to you and say, like, yes, we can find you food. What would you like?
5 shins.
Is that what they start with? Okay.
For a glaive, yeah.
For a glaive. So you don't actually have enough for a drink.
Okay.
They look to you. Do you kind of pull out your meager 5 shins? So they look to you and they say, yes, we have food. More, please. And you see one of them like squat down, and the other one stands behind him, like they're back to back. One squats down, and you see that the shelf that they put the box of shins on, they actually slide over a bottom shelf, and the one that's on his knees kind of crawls into it, and the other one just sort of stands there and waits, kind of emotionless, and you can hear banging and weird noises as if there is something behind this bookshelf, right, or this shelf, and there's a good awkward few minutes of this guy just staring blankly at you before, through his legs, the other one reemerges and is holding like a small box, and he stands up in front of him. And the one that was standing there the whole time turns around, squats down, and closes it back up, and then stands up. And now they're both next to each other, and they present you with a box, and they remove the lid, and you can see that you're pretty sure this is some kind of spider that they have cooked for you.
I kind of like look at them. I look at the food. I look at like my swollen shoulder from spider bite, and I do that like 3 times. Them, the food, my spider bite, them, the food, kind of like, and then I say, is this safe to eat?
I say, don't be rude, Arri.
And I take the food. I'm like, sorry.
Safe enough for us. And they kind of hand it to you. There are no utensils. This looks like essentially giant crab legs, right? But the yellow color and the strange fur that's on it, you're pretty sure this is spider.
Oh, yes.
How
So-
long have you two been here?
We have always been here.
You seem different from some of the other villagers.
Why is that?
Well, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say it. Like you speak every other word.
I had not noticed.
Okay. I think your friends might have, but they're probably too polite to say anything. Thank you for the spider.
You are welcome.
And I take a bite, begrudgingly. See, like I know my body needs nourishment, so I'm just trying to like figure out if this is gonna be any good. But I take a bite.
Yeah. You ever eat a kiwi with the skin on? It's like that. It's like that. Like you're eating. Like it's hairy. Like they got a lot of it. They shaved a lot of it off, right? But like it's like when you descale a fish and you miss a few, you're like, okay, that was that. That's what I found. So yeah, you definitely know that this isn't like a boneless chicken breast. This is it's got some bite to it. But it tastes fine. It tastes like roasted meat. You can't really place the flavor. This is unlike anything you've tasted before. There's no comparison, but it tastes okay for what you are pretty sure it is, right? Expecting it to be disgusting. It was okay. You're not going to open a restaurant back home and make it. And they kind of look back to you both, and they look kind of back and forth. Is there anything else?
I mean, I'm not feeling like I'm gonna really get a whole lot of information out of these guys, because my
could.
expectation with a barkeep is like they're fat, jovial old men, and more than willing to talk to a pretty young lady and give her all the information she wants.
Sure. I mean, you can make a we'll call it like diplomacy or a persuasion, right? Because you're good with positive interactions.
Right.
You can make the roll. So it would be difficulty.
Just
just in general to see if you can get them talking.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be difficulty 3.
I'd like to think that I could maybe loosen up their tongues a little bit, do a little bit of flirting.
Sure.
But I've never been a good flirt.
Yeah. And you've never flirted with 2 robot people either, so.
Yeah. Kind of awkward flirting with 2 people at once.
Yeah.
Do not try at home.
Yeah. It's not something. It's not your forte. Usually, it's just one single person. So yeah, they look to you and they say, "We can make more." And they like nod to they like look at the canister you're holding. It is 2 shins.
That's very sweet of you, but I think I'm finished. Thank you. Very delicious.
Do you try to give them back the canister?
Yeah, I think I would. Actually, I saw the other men leaving. Well, Arri pointed them out to me. The other men leaving, they had kept their little tankards. So no, I think it would go against all of my upbringing. I think I would probably try to return it.
Okay, so the moment you try to like hand it back to them, they
like
yeah. So the moment you try to hand it back, they push it back to you. They say, "No, it is 10 shins for the first one.
Okay.
2 shins for all the rest. You keep this." And they sort of push the thermos back to you.
It's like a summer special when you can get refillable soft drinks at your favorite restaurant. Yeah. Okay, got it.
It's like if you lose this, it's 10 more shins.
Right, got it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that safe.
Yeah.
Somewhere on my person in my pack.
So backtracking just a little bit, would
Sure.
Silica view this as Arri pointed this out, or I remember seeing that, and leave out the whole Arri showed it to me.
Well, if I were retelling the story later, I noticed everything.
Okay.
In actuality,
Yeah.
Arri pointed it out to me.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
As they refuse your glass and they push it back to you, I go, Silica, don't be rude.
Camaraderie, I like it.
Well done. Well done.
So
Go ahead.
as that's wrapping up,
Mhm.
I stride on up and say, imagine you haven't been out of the city in a long time. What can you do with this? And I pull out the orange and purple orchid that I had harvested when we were way out on the pedal. So wondering if they can, the stuff that they brew. So I throw it on the table. What can you do with this?
And you see them both go opposite directions, and one of them reaches out and picks it up, and they both turn their back on you, and they both like lean in, and you can hear them talking in that strange language again. And again, it's even in this strange language, it's every other word. And they turn back around and say, 5 shins.
I sort of grab his wrist, put it on the table, and try to meet eyes with him.
Okay.
And say, it's yours, but I want to know, what does this tower do?
Are you trying to intimidate him?
Yes, but so I'm hoping that this thing that they want, this herb, might be an asset, but then again, I have an inability, where is it? Where I'm bad with social interactions.
Okay. So I'll say that this is I'll say because you're intimidating, right? I'll say this is a might check. Because you're bad at interactions, I'll say that it is a difficulty 4 with an asset for this orchid.
Okay. Might 4. I have no pool, so I guess I'm not doing effort.
Yep.
And I have an asset.
Yep.
Okay.
Boom. That's the perfect number right there.
Right.
So they look to you, and he sort of like, the other one reaches over and removes the arm from your arm, and he takes the flower and puts it on the shelf, and they both lean in, and they look at Arri and Silica, and they lean in closer towards you, and they say, the Tower of Life protects all that stay near it.
I need more than that, friend. What exactly does it do?
The Tower of Life grants life. If you stay away from the
Eternal
Tower
life?
of Life, no. It grants enough life to live.
For how long?
Every day you spend near it. When you stay away from the tower, the island takes your life. You will die.
Why would anyone want to leave the tower?
They don't.
Clearly the Carols did.
The
Don't yank
Carols,
my chain or I'm taking my flower back.
the Carols believe that the tower is evil. They want to destroy it. They believe
Why?
that the life the island takes is a toll from their god. They are wrong.
What do they call their god?
You hear them like both back and forth, and they look at each other. Say, I never thought to ask.
And what do you call yours?
We don't. We have no need for myths.
All right. I look around to my compatriots just to see if there's anything that they want to try and extract.
All right, so
feel
are
any
we're all there?
Yeah, sure.
Do we feel any different being in the vicinity of this tower?
You don't. So you would notice. You kind of woke up into it, right? But you woke up in like if you woke up on one of those massage chairs. The further away from it you get, the less and less that happens, that occurs. But you haven't felt any positive or negative anything at all yet.
I ask him why the...
No, you froze. Well, now it's a mystery. We'll never know what Jordan was going to ask them.
He's gone forever.
Yep. In the meantime, Ted, you had a question.
So I'll kind of like turn into the my companion and be like, so is there anything else that we can garner here? Don't all talk at once.
I'm confused about the question.
Is there any other information that we can get? Like, is there, honestly, like these guys are weird. They really didn't reveal anything about Bonobo. They didn't give us any new clues about the carols or the tower. Excuse me. Everything is just still very vague at the moment. It's like,
Yeah, we're trying to get at least something useful.
I guess my only other question to these twins would be: has this shaking always occurred?
Yes.
Because yes, okay, because that could have been useful in context of the storm. I mean, I'm assuming everybody's already filled me in on like, yeah, the storm's been happening for however many cycles. Like,
Yep.
even though I was unconscious, like I'm up to speed, ish, but there's not really anything, that I feel like I can ask that's going to get us any more information, especially since they seem to kind of like Wyloch
Yeah,
a little bit better.
They seem to be answering your questions as you ask them.
Yeah.
And if you ask about the shaking, they mostly don't notice it, but they say, yes, it has.
Yeah. So.
Retroactively, I'm thinking about this is an island, and we did these several circuits around it, looking for any information. Is there anything past or present that gave me any kind of indication that this island was moving, or was it like 100% stationary?
So, I'll say this: Wyloch, yes. Wyloch noticed something in the water as the boat was approaching, but I don't know if he's filled in everyone else what he saw underneath the egg.
Thank you for reminding me. All right, so I asked them, what's underneath this place?
You see them have an exchange of suspicious glances back and forth. And they look back to you and they say, underneath the city?
Yes, underneath, and I can't remember the name earlier, but the name of the entire egg. When I had asked, what do you call this place? I can't remember what the name was, but
yeah,
underneath that.
I believe they called it the Island of Undoing.
Yes, the Island of Undoing.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks to you and says, they both kind of look to you and they say, no one goes beneath. The doors are closed.
Doors? Where?
Everywhere. There are doors across the island.
What do they look like?
They kind of look around for somebody to show you, and they pull essentially a metal plate right off of one of the shelves, and you see each one take one side of it and they bend it and then break it, and they place the circular plate down on the table in front of you, and they close it and then they slide it open. They look like this.
Okay. Mental note.
Yep. They look across to the four of you, and they say, and this, and they point to all of the slowly burgeoning purple marks on your skin.
This? What about this?
These symbols.
They're
Different
the
symbols.
doors?
No. These different symbols on the doors. Each door has its own symbol.
And we have to use the door that matches our symbol?
No one goes in. And they both shrug.
Oh, man.
Well, that's something to know.
Yep.
All right. Why do they wear hoods? The Carols, why do they wear hoods?
I don't know.
Okay.
Why do we wear this? And like motions to the shirt he's wearing. Why
See,
did
now
they
you're
wear
just getting
red?
sassy on us.
All right.
It's like, I sent some sass.
You sense the sass?
As much sass as they could emote.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a lot of information that's been vague, that's given to us. Zariff is known for like putting together these different puzzles and things inside the ruins and stuff that he's explored prior to this expedition. Is there something that has been said that he would have picked up on that Ted is not picking up on?
So basically, the summation for Zariff, right, would be that there are doors across the island, and the people of this town actively don't go in them, is what it sounds like. But they match the symbols on the doors, match the symbols on your bodies, right? Each door has its own symbol. They didn't give you a reason why no one goes in, and
They just said that no one does.
They just said that no one goes in. Your best guess for Zariff would be that these people think that the island drains you of life, and that the tower restores your life, and the doors are outside, away from the tower. So the longer you're outside, the more chances are you are going to die, plus all the bad things that tried to kill you already. So that would probably be why people don't seem to leave the village. The carols are the only real mystery. No one seems to be either willing or able to provide you with information. You're not entirely sure which one of those options it is.
So I'll again point to the bite mark symbols on my companions that they were pointing out. Do these symbols have any reference or meaning within this island?
They look back and forth to you and they say, these symbols are on the cephaline. They are on the doors. And they kind of glance back and forth, and they fully take the flower away and put it down. And they say, and on the tower.
Is it also on that flower?
No.
Do I believe him?
You've seen the flower. You know it's not.
Okay.
This is a flower that Wyloch picked when you guys first got to the island.
They just want to keep it.
Wyloch used it as a bargaining chip. That's why they like him. But when they didn't give him the proper responses, he kind of recoiled it.
I want to sort of look to all three of you and kind of motion to the nearest table.
Sure. Yeah, and again, it's like grass mats and like a wooden or metal table. You kind of got to like kneel down, Japanese eatery style.
Sweet.
So, here's what I'm thinking. They're not going to let us out of here willingly, right? Right?
It's possible.
They don't seem to appreciate the carols or the carol's mission in life. So what I'm proposing is we go to Bernarbo and we offer ourselves as spies. We can get out of here and we can learn a little more about them.
Don't we want to investigate this tower a little bit more?
I definitely see that as a necessary step, but Wyloch, I believe that is a solid plan of being able to gather information from their enemy while being able to gather information for ourselves.
No need to rush, though. If we think we want to go to the tower first, we could do that.
Well,
We can try to get in the tower, but more likely than not, we're gonna have to talk to the chieftain, Barnabas, or whatever his name is.
Bonobo.
Before we, Bonobo, yes. Talk to Chief Bonobo before we are able to be granted any sort of access to this sacred tower of something or another
Life.
that it was called. Right, that one.
I love your commitment to not remembering things.
You're welcome.
Good. Well, if it's all the same, I'll leave that to you to do.
All right, so I think we're pretty much set on our next step, which is to find the chieftain.
Hold on there. One more step. Can you refill that for me?
Okay, I'm not made of money. I
Here.
know it must seem that way.
Take these. So I give her 2 shins.
right,
I
all
could
right.
desperately use some might.
Sure.
All right. So I go back up to the twins. I get another tea drink, and I'm not. I feel like it's probably bad manners to, in view of the twins, give my refilled cup. That's my personal cup to Wyloch, because again, I don't want to be rude to our guest. As a guest, I don't want to be rude to my host. So I'll probably wait until we're outside of the establishment before I pass my cooties on to him.
Fair. Yep. So they take your shins, and again, they one scoops the shins, the other one hands it off, and the other one puts it in the box. And they take your cup, and they hit the button. You can see it spin up, and the liquid changes colors, and it takes a solid 10 minutes of dripping to actually fill the cup. In that 10 minutes, Wyloch, Zariff, and Arri, you guys are still at the table down there. Is there anything you guys are discussing while Silica is waiting for the cup to fill?
So, first and foremost, what do they do if it gets busy in here? If it takes 10 minutes to get a single drink.
Are you asking me, or are you trying to make small talk?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
You're not sure. You haven't seen it busy. Everyone seems to be casually strolling in and out.
So, do we go seek out Bonobo, or do we nonchalantly head to the tower and try to find if we can get in?
I say we go to the tower. I'm curious about it, and I feel if they won't let us in at the tower, then we'll make enough commotion that we'll find Mr. Bonobo. Or he'll find us.
I agree. And if he does, that's when we take the opportunity and offer ourselves up. After all, we're brand new here, so it's logical that the tribe might accept that we didn't like this place.
Sensible.
But the longer we wait, the less likely that is.
That's true. And before my PC crashed, the ground is shaking. And
Yes, you had a
shakes
question.
more the closer we get to the tower, correct?
Correct.
And I was going to ask the twins about that right when my computer died.
Yeah.
So did we get an answer for that? Or
What was the question you were going to ask? You cut out right before you asked it.
Why is the ground shaking? Do they know why the ground is shaking?
They don't seem to know. They just accept that it always has.
And it's like a vibration. It's not like a full-on earthquake.
Yeah. And you can tell, like, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure out that the closer you get, it's more violent. So it seems to be emanating from the tower.
Okay.
This is more of a TED question to be able to further that plot that thought pattern. Are there any great machines in Numenera?
Define great machine.
Like some kind of mechanical thing that you would ride, that you would sense that, well, is this all like gears and machinery that's causing this to happen? Is it
so? Yes. So not in so many words, but there are massive pieces of Numenera, and you, as an explorer, you've been to many cities and towns out in and out of the Steadfast, right? So you have a little bit more experience dealing with the Aeon Priests. The Aeon Priests kind of roam the land, and they live in enclaves, and they sort of, in your opinion, right, they're good for money, right? Because they're good for a bag of shins, because they hoard Numenera. They say it's to study and better, the people of the Steadfast, but sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, right? But there are massive pieces of Numenera. There is things like the Amber Monolith, which is literally just like an obelisk that floats in the sky, that's believed to be a massive piece of Numenera. There's places outside of Gon, over a set of fields, that there are 20-foot statues that are like just floating, of people that no one knows what they are or how to get up there to see what they are, because they're floating like 100 feet in the air, right? So there are massive pieces of Numenera. People pay good money to find out what they are, to send expeditions like yours. But yeah, there's not so much transport or like a train or anything like that, right? But there are large pieces of Numenera that you have seen or you've heard rumors of, or fabled Numeneran devices that like, oh, if we could only find this one thing, we'd make it big. Those kind of things.
All right. So, Wyloch, we know that there are these great devices of Numenera. To my knowledge, you're very well trained in such. And I kind of lower my voice to a whisper that probably only he can hear, because I don't want to be overheard by the twins over there. Is could this island be just a Numenera?
I say, I'm not sure. We need to return to the base of the tower, and I can try and attune.
Arri says, I know that this tower goes up, but the more we are around it, I'm really curious if this tower goes down. Because when we were sailing over here, we looked down in the water, and this object went further down, deep in the water. I wonder if it's floating or if it's anchored on the ocean floor.
I would imagine there's got to be equal parts down as up to be able to hold this flower open and not capsize when closed.
I'm just waiting for my drink.
So as their conversation kind of rounds to that point, you can see that they're talking, and they kind of hand your drink back. You take it, and you know that they were talking while you were away, but you were a distraction.
All right, come on, boys, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Sure.
So here's what I'm hoping to do. If we return to the base of the tower, I'm as close as I can possibly be to whatever this thing is that's going on, which might be an asset. So I'm trying to maybe understand Numenera if it is. And what I want to do is understand, is there something in conflict that's causing the rumbling? Are there forces of nature that are in conflict? Or is it indeed like just a consequence of some sort of mechanical thing? What's the nature of the tremors? What is causing it?
Okay. So this is going to be difficult because this is unlike anything you've ever seen before. It won't. The device itself, if it is Numenera at all, it will not be an asset. But so it's going to be 6. It's going to be intelligence 6. You're trained. Actually, you're specialized in the Numenera, so that helps you out a good deal.
So can I be an asset after our protracted discussion about the large Numenera that I've either witnessed personally or that I've had described to me?
Sure. Yeah, you can kind of tag team this and see if you have any. You're able to provide any insight as well. So I'll say that he'll act as an asset for you. So this is a difficulty 6 Numeneran device. So you can roll Numenera with an asset for having Zariff's help.
Done. Wait. Oh wait. Okay. No bonus.
Close. You nailed it.
Close.
That is the number you needed. Cool. So, describe to me what it looks like. You guys. So I assume you guys go back to the yurt, right? And you're kind of in your own private little sanctum here. What does it look like as you're trying to get a grasp of this Numeneran device? How does everyone else see Wyloch?
I mean, I want to just hand him his tea. I don't know. It's just, maybe he's like sipping on the tea. Also, disclaimer, because I'm pretty sure these are custom drinks. Like they look like they were giving me the up and down and not in the flirtatious way. So like, drink at your own risk. I don't want to have any part of any sort of.
I mean, they didn't take a drop of blood or anything, but
backfire. I mean, just saying. I don't know how our sizes compare, so.
So I'm smarter than the average bear, so sure. I've studied things and whatnot. I'm not as proficient and expertise into this kind of stuff, but I've seen more than my fair share of Numenera. So I'm having a conversation, and like there's times that he'll spit something out. It's like, all right, well that's above my head, but what about this angle? What about that? So I'm trying to be as best I can a back and forth with it as a conversation, and I'm just trying to help as best I can.
Okay. And so Wyloch, what are you doing? What does it look like as you're trying to examine this?
So first of all, Was there a door? How big in diameter is the tower? And was there a door? Or
There
it's
was
just
no door that you've seen.
Okay, it's a blue spire.
What's that?
Just a big blue spire.
Just a big blue spire. And it seems as though, upon closer inspection, the spire itself is made out of the same whatever this fabric metal is that has this blue netting that has the lightning running down it. It seems to be made of the same thing. And when you push on it, there's a little bit of give, but there's no seam, there's nothing that doesn't open up anyway. And in diameter, probably like a good 20 feet in diameter. So this is like a good walking distance around this thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have my hand on it, and I'm studying, and I'm trying to figure out what this could possibly be, and calling on all the experience that I mentioned earlier before I made the roll.
Sure. So you begin to look this over. You're kind of spouting out Wylochian nonsense. Zariff's picking up some of it, redirecting some of it. Your best guess for the information you're looking for is that this is its function. It's meant to do that. Or else the tremors would have gotten more violent. No one seems to be reporting that. This has been a constant. They said it's always been like this. So if it's been like this since before the storm, it's likely that that's what it's supposed to be doing, right? It's not broken because of the storm, or it's not generating the storm. Would be your guess with that success. The thing you notice outside of what you were looking for is the moment you put your hand to it and sort of press and look around, you see in the netting, the next time the lightning streaks through, it streaks through, and for a split second before the lightning strike goes away, you see a symbol appear.
Do I recognize it? Is it the one from that got emblazoned onto Giorgio?
You do recognize it. It is not that symbol. It is the same symbol that is on your shoulder.
Okay.
The symbol from the spider bite.
So I've intuited that the spire is a proverbial drain plug in the bathtub, right? It seems to be holding something at bay.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. All right. So seeing that symbol, I sort of motioned to everyone else to also try this. Put your hand on it. See if they see the same thing.
Well, I don't have a spider bite, so I I'm like, well, here's what is that? What am I, the test subject?
Yeah.
Or what have you?
You're the control point.
Control. That's it.
Yeah.
It. So I'm the control group. So I go ahead and I apply my hand.
Sure.
See what happens.
So you press your hand to it. More lightning. Wyloch, is your hand still on it?
Yes.
Okay, so your hand's on it, so you both see the lightning strike, and you both see the same symbol that Wyloch has seen. No new symbol, just the same one.
Right. Well, before Jordan goes in, or Arri touches Wyloch, why don't you remove your hand first?
Lightning strikes, no symbol.
All right, Arri, what do you get? I remove my hand.
I touch the tower.
Lightning strikes, and it's the same symbol that is on Ari's forearm.
And everybody can see this, not just me.
Yep, it's quick though. So the lightning strikes, and excuse me, as lightning strikes down, you see the symbol in the lightning strike, and then when the lightning strike fades, it goes away.
Any glowing of my spider bite symbol or anything?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope, your spider bite seems normal. I mean, as far as purple spider bites
Ouch,
goes.
though.
Right. Yep. It still hurts.
But if you bend your wrist and apply your fingers in a certain way, do you get to shoot any webs or anything like that?
This is with these. Away, web. No, nothing of the kind.
Sorry for the joke. Silica, I'm only gonna gather that we can predict what will happen here. Are you
All right.
willing to try?
We're just okay. Ari and I both dual symbol this time.
No, Arri pulls his hand back and you put yours.
So we're still just testing that theory.
Yes.
So I put my hand on.
Same thing. Lightning strike, and it's a
Okay.
different symbol, the one that's on your arm.
Gotcha. We're still.
We all
really
look at Zariff, say he could be mutable.
So, what is so special about these marks that it's interpreted by, this potential Numenera that's here, by creatures, in the greater forest here.
This also is not the symbol that's like my new tattoo from when I touched the guy that was like full of electricity. It's a different symbol, and that one is not showing up or reacting or anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we know that the symbols that we've somehow acquired from these spider creatures, the syphilis or whatever they're called.
Every time.
Cephalian.
Yes, that one. That these also correspond to the doors that the Tweedledee and Tweedledum were talking about, and now they're resonating with this tower. We're still not really getting any closer to any sort of answer, and I don't think we will until we talk to Chief Barnabas.
Bonobo.
Bonobo, of course, that one.
Like how that's just Zariff's new job, is just correct you. He just follows you around when you're talking to people.
Well, the only reason Ted can do it is because I take notes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right, so I say we're not going to learn anything else here.
Yeah, we still have a few. Like, I'll take a quick look around. Has anybody given us any kind of stink eye or what the heck you doing kind of looks?
So I assumed you guys are in the yurt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the yurt touches the tower.
Oh, okay. Well, then even better.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have what happens when multiple symbols touch this thing. Yes, no?
You tell me.
None of us are too keen after being unconscious. Zariff, where have you been? But I'll keep my hand there. Sure, I'll
all three at once.
Let's do it. With the
So
super twins.
lightning strikes again. Yeah, I mean, lightning is pretty much constant, right? It just kind of moves around it, and you see all three symbols.
We're missing one, aren't we?
Open sesame.
Well, there were 4 spiders, were there not? And there were 4 of us.
There were four spiders. There were 4 spiders and 4 of you.
And I believe we were told that each one had a different symbol on it.
Each one of the spiders did have a different symbol on it. You are correct.
And 3 of us got bitten, all by different spiders, but Zariff did not get bitten by a 4th spider.
That is true.
I want to talk to the chief.
I agree. Somehow or another, we've been connected to this place.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a matter of time before we figure it out.
So, Zariff, you're keeping your hand off this thing, huh? Okay.
I mean, if I can, if they think that, that there's something to be had with all 4 of us touching, then I'm all for it. I mean, we have to try all different iterations, right?
Yep.
Sure.
It's the scientific method.
Sure. The strikes redirect and hit all of your hands. It doesn't hurt. It just sort of runs underneath it. You can actually feel it press against you, as if the lightning juts out of it, like as if it indents. And as it hits your hand, or goes behind your hand, it doesn't continue down. And where all 4 of these branches of lightning kind of connect, now you see the symbol that is on Arri's shoulder, a symbol that Zariff knows and a symbol that Wyloch knows.
Is it like those balls of electricity that you put your hand and
Yes, it is exactly like that.
Our hair stands up on it. I don't need any more of that in my life, but our hair just... Whew.
It's not much, for me. Mine's close cropped. Or at least, Zariff's is.
So your hands are pressed to it. You hear all 4 of them kind of streak down from one lightning bolt. And when they hit your hands, they stop, and you see that sun symbol.
So you have your note, Wyloch?
There we go.
Perfect.
There it is.
That's the one.
So to be clear, Arri's rocking 2 symbols now.
Yes, Arri has a spider symbol, and he has burned into his mechanical arm that sun.
And on my other arm, I've got mother written.
Yeah, in a heart with a banner around it and a dagger.
Oh, gosh.
So this symbology keeps coming up. This has to mean something.
Wyloch, do you know what this means? This symbol?
And I'm thinking, do I?
You don't.
Okay.
You get that one
I
for
kind
free.
of get curious, and I pull out my dagger and start walking over, because you're heavy one symbol and Zariff is light one.
And I take a step back and I pull up my hammer.
Whoa,
And then I
whoa.
kind of snap to, like, oh, sorry, sorry, my bad. And then I go stare at the wall for a little bit.
One of the yurt walls or the actual lightning wall?
The yurt wall.
Just to be clear. Okay.
Nobody
what I
puts Wyloch in
assumed.
the corner. Except Wyloch.
Only Wyloch puts Wyloch
All
in the
yurts have
corner.
no corners.
Fine.
This yurt has a corner. It's a flat surface on
Oh,
one
that's
side.
right.
Oh, that's
Uh,
I
right.
don't know, whatever.
So you said that this tower is circular.
Mhm.
I want to. Is there any place that I can get, higher up to look around, in town?
Not any place you could do it discreetly, but there are places you could do it. You could climb on top of one of the buildings if you can get up there. The wall doesn't look like the wall's not very thick, but it's thick enough that you could probably balance yourself on top of that.
So here's my thought. That symbol, has a circle and all these little, square-ish things sticking out from it. I want to take a walk around the tower then, and are there buildings that would, sync up with, the little blocks on that symbol?
How discreetly are you doing this? Or are you just sort of walking around taking a stroll?
I'm just going to take a stroll.
There are yurts, same way, the half moon yurts abutting the tower in those same intervals, at least as best as you can guess.
All right, so I'm just gonna kind of keep strolling. I'm gonna try my best to be as friendly as possible. Wyloch, can you hold that picture up again? So we've got this little lightning, strike, what have you. So this, the bottom point, ends at a yurt, at a building, but there's one that doesn't. So I want to try and see if I can find that line, that point, and see if that is anything.
Okay. So roll me. This will be the same thing. So this tower we'll call it a difficulty 6. This is the difficulty 6 searching to see if you can get to that point and then look for something at that point. So this will be a difficulty 6 searching. So I know you're trained in that, but
All right.
you may need assistance on this.
Can I ask Arri to come with me so that I have a reference point of the symbol that's burned into him?
Sure.
And use that as an asset?
Yeah, absolutely.
I brought a map.
No. I just brought a friend. We're gonna have a nice, pleasant
Yeah, we're
conversation.
just hanging out.
So while they're doing
My
that,
eyes are up here.
My eyes are up.
Well, your shoulders are just so manly.
Oh,
Bam!
wow. Nailed it.
Wow.
But I totally thunk real hard though. So I gotta.
Okay.
That's something I wish this system would do when you apply effort.
Automatically
Just
reduced it.
Automatically reduce the pool.
Yeah.
But bam.
Okay. So you get there. I assume making some quiet small talk as you kind of disguise your meandering around the tower. You get to the best approximation. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the small talk is I'm going to talk about some of my adventures. Some stuff's probably going to be made up so that I can incorporate there was I got a wound on my shoulder right here, so that I can keep looking at that spot without it being an issue. Link in some kind of numeneras and patterns just to kind of have it relate to what's going on. But yeah,
Smooth.
I like it. You do a little thieves' cant, a little explorer's cant there.
yeah, absolutely.
So you find your best approximation of the center point between the huts, where you believe the other lightning strike would be. In the ground, you see that there is a small metal ring that sort of rings the entire tower, right? At that point, that's a 19. At that point, you see that same symbol etched in the ring. That if you weren't looking for this, you would never notice this. The ring itself is maybe an inch and a half in diameter that runs the circumference of this tower, and this symbol is maybe a half an inch by a half an inch, right? So unless you were looking for it, you wouldn't know. And as you kind of get down there and examine this symbol, it matches, as far as you can tell, perfectly to what's on Arri's shoulder. And right where this symbol is against the tower, there is probably about a 2-inch tear in whatever this sheet is.
All right, so I'll bend down and I'll adjust the lacing on my boots just ever so slowly. They just got too loose. I've been walking for a while.
Sure.
And I'll take a
dense jungle.
Absolutely. So take a look around, study, make sure I've got my bearings on where this spot is, and then we'll head back to the yurt.
Yeah, you can absolutely mark this place. You know by the symbol. Worst case now, you just follow the circumference of the tower until you see that symbol again. But yeah, you're easily able to identify where this is. And like I said, there's that 2.5, 3-inch little strip in there that you can see. And if you kind of look inside of it, like, I mean, obviously you're not going to poke through it. I think you're smart enough not to do that. But it's just dark. It's just like
There's no light coming out.
It's like Vanta Black. As you see through, yeah. So you see that, and you kind of begin to trace back around to your yurt. So,
all right. So, I pull out, Arri's shoulder or the drawing that Wyloch's got. However, be like, all right. So this is here. This is here. Like, this symbol is affixed on that tower. All of this is connected.
I look down at it. I hear what you're saying. I turn to the wall of the tower, and I stride right up to it. While I'm walking, I chant the words to use an esoteric. Walk through walls.
Okay.
Can slowly pass through barriers at a rate of 1 inch per round.
Okay.
To see if I can try and walk through the blue weaving, the wall of the tower.
Okay. So spend the appropriate amount of intellect. And you pass through at an incredibly slow rate, right? What is the exact rate? It's like 1 inch a minute
per round.
Okay, cool. So you stride up with all the confidence you can muster, chanting this esoteric, and everyone seems to look at you like you're crazy. And you just walk face first into this thing, and you guys can see that it presses kind of around him. And as you begin to just continue to muscle forward, anyone who's really paying attention to this crazy guy walking into a wall begin to see that he is phasing into this wall.
I mean, I've been here with Wyloch the whole time, so when my friend or companion, I don't know, can we be friends? I think we might be friends.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I've comforted him enough to probably claim that, and when he just about faces and just Harry Potter's into the wall.
It's the slowest Harry Potter ever.
I am concerned. I am very concerned.
Yeah. I mean, none of you have ever seen him do this before, right? Because the majority of the time you've known each other, you've been on a boat. So there's really been no need to do this without dying in the ocean. So I think for the rest of you, Arri specifically, or especially since he's not well versed in this kind of thing, you're not entirely sure if this is him walking through a wall or the wall interacting with him negatively. But it seems as though he is passing through this thing, whether by his own sheer force of will or the wall itself is doing something to him.
I think I'm going to reach out and try to grab him and see, because I think the wall's eating him or
Sure.
something. I just kind of get, he's mesmerized or something, but I'm assuming my hand goes right through him.
So you go to grab him, and at the same kind of rate as he's passing through, you feel the solid form of him, but the more you're grabbing onto him, it's like if you ever held Play-Doh and you can kind of press through play, same kind of thing, except the Play-Doh is Wyloch at this point. So you grab and you feel that firm shoulder, but you begin to squeeze and you slowly pass through him.
I think I get freaked out and I pull my hand back.
Yep.
I'm like, He's some kind of putty now. I'm not sure what's going on.
He is a silly putty, if anything. Yeah, so you guys see this slow incursion from Wyloch into the net tower.
Would I have known that it was a conscious choice? Did he look like I said this and he turned around and walked, or did it look more like he got pulled?
So I'll say this: you've seen Wyloch go stark-eyed and just wander to things before. You assume it's of his own volition. You've seen him do that same kind of, I have an idea, and just not say anything and just go do stuff, and then he kind of snaps out of it.
I'm not, I can accept that Zariff sees this as, as Wyloch's choice, not, oh my God, we're under attack.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Wyloch does seem to possess an interesting mindset, and he does seem to, know his way around Numenera. So maybe he has accessed some of its powers. Maybe he has some of his own.
Zariff, do you need me to break into that tower? And I hold up my hammer with my big metal arm, like I'm ready to just smack it to save Wyloch.
Assaulting the tower is not recommended. Do I have any idea how many people we've seen inside the city?
You've been looking around. You can see that there's more than 100 people in here that you've seen.
Right. So we would be vastly outnumbered, and even with our best effort, we would be torn asunder. Let's face it, they slew the spiders, as equal to ourselves, and they view this they view this tower as, their source of life. If we assault the tower, they will slay us.
Question.
Yes.
Zariff, have you relayed to us the information about the tear that you noticed?
Yes. Yeah, I spit it all out.
So that's all out there. So yeah, I mean, if this is the life-giving tower, one, Wyloch probably shouldn't be breaking into it. Two, we should probably let the chieftain know that there's a tear in their sacred tower. He would probably want to know that information. Might explain all the weirdness going on. I want to go talk to the chieftain. And then I just stare in almost morbid curiosity as Wyloch continues to slowly ooze phase into the tower.
Yeah, the longer you guys converse, the further into it he's getting.
But we can't stop him, so it's like it's like watching a train wreck. You just can't look away, you can't do anything about it, and I'm just...
Yeah, at this point, he's essentially bisected. He's about halfway through the tower. We're halfway through this wall.
So part of me, is right there with you, talking to Barnabas. Now you got me doing it. Barnabo, about all of this. But part of me is really leery about pointing out we noticed this. There's a symbol on the ground and there's a tear. Your super precious tower is, broken.
I'm sure Chieftain Bilbo will understand.
Don't mind Arri's tattoo.
Oh yeah, don't mind that. We'll throw a blanket over it.
No, what if he recognizes the symbol on my arm?
Which is why we're gonna throw a blanket over it.
We've got clothing. It's not like it just burns through anything. It can be covered.
Do I see anything yet? Am I far enough in?
So you are about halfway through, and you see, like I said, it's Vanta black, right? So it's like utter complete darkness. Like it removes light.
There's plenty of room in the sphere of annihilation.
Yeah. So you are pressing your way through this to a point where now your senses are kind of muted because you're halfway in and halfway out, where it's kind of up to your ears. So you can hear that there's a conversation happening, but you can't really make out what the words are as you're slowly phasing through this, right? What you do see is that zigzag that's on your picture, that's on Arri's arm. You see that in the floor. It is a break in the Vanta blackness. But it flashes you back to a time where your existence in your brain almost exploded, because this zigzag exists everywhere in the tower at once. Despite the fact that you feel like you're in a cylinder, you see this zigzag as if it was in 4 dimensions. You can see into it, you can see up through it, you can see around its left and right. You can see it from every axis, but it seems to only exist in one space on the floor, right? But you feel like a pull towards this zigzag, this lightning strike here. Like this is where if you were like once you get through, you just feel a compulsion to go near that symbol. But that's all you see besides utter darkness. And it's one of those like the Looney Tune black holes, right? So if you kind of look down into the zigzag, because you can see through it, you look down and then you see yourself looking down.
All right. But I feel a compulsion to go towards it?
Yeah. Like it feels like it's drawing you in.
Okay, and just to be clear here on a rules standpoint, you can't act or perceive anything until you pass entirely through the barrier.
Yeah, I'm a little flexible. So you can't hear exactly the conversation that's happening. You can just hear the Charlie Brown, like there is something happening behind you. And you can see this for some unknown reason. So like that would stand out as strange to you. The fact that you have full perception of what's inside this tower, or at least this crack.
Okay. My spontaneity ceases for just a moment, and I try to reverse course to relay what I've seen.
Make a Numenera check, DC 6. It works. You still have Numenera, so your knowledge of Numenera will help you out of whatever the hell you've just done to yourself. So you have that brain click of like, okay, I've seen enough now. I need to get out, and then you try to redirect your brain, but that compulsion to move forward kind of overpowers that. Everyone else, make me a we'll call it a difficulty 3 perception test. So intellect, unless you have some kind of perception-based ability or skill.
I mean, so I want this to be a pleasant social.
No, absolutely.
Experience to end well.
So searching?
Searching
No?
works. Pleasant conversation does not.
No, not so helpful.
Difficulty
Nope.
for you.
Well, I can't like
appreciate
read his
that.
body language to like see if he's in distress.
Ooh, okay.
Eh?
Okay, well done.
Okay.
I'll give you that one. Yep.
Okay, I
You
talked
can
to him,
take
but
that
you
one.
said it was a difficulty rating of
3.
3.
Yep.
That is one thing I love about Numenera.
Is that a bonus or an asset?
No, just roll the ability.
Oh, the.
Yep, just
Okay.
click on the ability
Yeah,
and then it's
I'm just-
difficulty 3.
I'm rolling the wrong thing. That's why. We're good. We're good. We got this. It doesn't
Nope.
matter.
So
matters.
you are too busy deciding that you need to talk to the chief of the village and remembering his name and going back between several B names, Barnaby, Bartlett,
It's fine.
Barnum and Bailey, and you notice that
Come up with.
Zariff and Arri are kind of not listening to you. You can sense when people tune you out, right? You can see that they're looking at Wyloch. Both of you see Wyloch tense. Like he was a fluid, confident, I'm going to walk through this. And you see what remains of his body tense up. And then you see him continue forward, but tensed.
I don't know what to do. Like Ari's tried everything he can do. Maybe I try one more time to pull him back.
Sure.
But I use my mechanical arm and I see if it does anything. So I reach out with that one and try to like pull him.
Interesting. Okay. So I will have you make... I will say... So unassisted, it's a Numenera 6. I'll give your arm as an asset. Because... For reasons. So anyone else can also grab on and help you pull away. One more person can grab on and help you pull away for an asset. And I'll allow the other person to pull for a bonus. If you
All right,
so
so
choose.
I will absolutely help.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not doing anything, so.
So are you going to help or are you going to sit there and hang out?
Well, I mean, I'm apparently just like still.
Well, you
avoiding
notice
it, so
them, and obviously if they get up and move over to Wyloch, you're going to notice them moving towards him. So
I mean,
that's
they seem to be
entirely
on top of it.
perfect.
They're on top of it. It's probably fine.
Perfect. So it's
Do I have an asset and a bonus, correct?
you have 2 assets.
Oh, I have 2 assets.
Mhm.
And Silica did not offer you the bonus.
Nope.
Wait, I thought Zariff was helping. I
So
thought they were
so
both
here's how it
doing
works. So
work.
Zariff can give him a bonus. So Zariff can give him an asset, right? Because you only have 2 assets. You can give him a bonus if you also help,
Oh, well, in that
which
case,
is a +1 to his roll.
like, why wouldn't I do that?
Sure. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not that much of a.
You're not that vapid.
I want to help Wyloch. He is my friend.
Boom. He didn't need it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So he spent some. Okay. Oh, you did need it. You did the bonus. You didn't need it. You fucking nailed it. So you do. So you reach through and you grab on, and before you felt that kind of putty, you don't feel it with your mechanical arm. And everyone else that's helping notices that the sun flares to life as he grabs him and begins to slowly pull him. And it's slow. It's like pulling something through mud, right, or through water.
Yeah.
It's equally slow to pull him back out as it was to get him in. But the entire time that your hand is on him, that symbol on your arm flares to life and glows brilliant blue as you kind of yank him back.
Not today, Death.
And slowly the world kind of comes back into view as you're pulled out of this thing, and your hearing kind of comes back, and your vision unblurs in this utter darkness. It's like you're, even though it's darkish in the tent, it's like stepping into sunlight. Like, it was so dark in there that like it almost hurts your eyes to see right now. But you are back in the tent, safe.
All right, so I'm down on my knees, sort of catching my breath, reeling, and then I point to Arri, actually the symbol on Arri, and I say, that one is everything. It goes on forever. And then I'm wondering if I can sleaze this from you. What I just went through is sort of like my equivalent of taking a potion. Did it heal any intellect? Because I've seen some shit, right? I just saw some things that no one should see. And maybe it boosted me a little bit. It's okay if no. I'm just trying to sleaze it.
I like the effort.
But if not, is there anything I could have learned from seeing this particular? Is this symbol special? Is there anything I've gleaned from that experience at all?
Yes, that for sure.
Okay.
So you recognized the symbol before when you saw it. You kind of had a flash the first time when it was burned into Giorgio's arm. This time, now that you've been in whatever the hell this extra dimensional space is, you have full knowledge of when you saw this symbol the first time. This symbol was on the Numeneran device that you pulled the gemstone out of. The same symbol was on that Numeneran device. And you have full clarity of that is exactly where this came from.
And I had seen this symbol on a Numenera device that altered me as well, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
In different ways. It made you kind of emotionless. It made him a super genius. He also jammed the gemstone in his head Diablo style, so I mean, maybe. So yeah, you have this is one of the memories that you seem to have forgotten. You now have perfect clarity of why you know that symbol.
All right. So obviously, there's something providential here. There's providence in play with at least 2 of us, and I wouldn't be surprised if it were all of us. Something before we ever met is tying us together.
Silica, have you come across this symbol at all before?
Not really comfortable with all this fate talk. I think I kind of went over that when we went up against the philanthropy monster. The gods and the fates and the everything. So it like all that makes me very uncomfortable. I want to live in the here and the now.
Can we all just picture a philanthropy monster for a second? Like, find me or I'll donate to children. Whoa, all right.
Roar, let's build a library.
ineffective monster. Um, so you want to focus on the here and now and not history and worlds colliding and fate happening.
Galaxies going down the drain. I don't know
Yeah, you would
Galaxies
want
will
that.
collide soon. We must prepare.
what he said.
Yep.
You can't escape your fate, Silica.
She wants to try.
Yep. Are we gonna push that issue, or like, I mean that's what we got. What we got is Arri's arm plus whatever Wyloch saw in the void, which he's just kind of babbling. It kind of makes sense. Zariff, like, I've seen this before, and I'm just over here like, what about Arri? Are we gonna bother Arri about his background?
Can we talk about this egg?
I'm
How
deflecting.
weird is that?
I am deflecting. Why are you
So
asking me about this?
monoberous.
Did I tell you how much I hate spiders? No, weird.
Weird.
My purple
So,
symbol itches.
The symbol is on Arri.
Yes.
Has Arri seen it previous to the lightning bolt on the ship?
Ari, have you seen it before?
I've never seen this before. It
It
just
appears not.
appeared as with the magic of that ship.
It appeared when
Well,
you
case
touched
closed.
Giorgio.
Well, yeah, when I
Alright,
touched
well-
Giorgio, but
All right. So Wyloch, it must be you and I, Arri and Silica. They're just along for the journey, and it's you and I that the fates are all about.
Sure, you guys can be the chosen ones.
Sure.
I confess I feel kinship. Now let's go.
All right. So, are we gonna go look for Bonobo?
I mean, that's what I've been wanting to do this whole time. We got to tell him about the tear.
yeah, we're not going to get any further with this tower. So
I am not so sure that telling him about the tear is a wise idea.
And why? Because you think he'll think we're responsible for it. Is that why? Like, where is your apprehension stemming from?
They are utterly paranoid about this tower. This is their source of life. If there is damage to it, it might be widespread panic. It might be, they're trying to keep it hush. Maybe they don't know about it. But you're absolutely correct. They could say that we did it.
was
or
it
they
so?
might thank us and say, "Oh, well, thank you, adventurers, for noticing."
Yeah,
was
I'm
it so
not
inconspicuous
used to that.
was it so inconspicuous that we can assume that they would not have seen it? Like I'm assuming if you found it, somebody else has found it. I mean, they're dedicated to this tower.
It is true.
I mean, they said the twins said that the chieftain was a nice guy. No, but as far as what we're like feeling from the townspeople, do they seem overly paranoid or fearful, or are they just reclusive?
They seem to be reclusive. They seem to want to stay. What you've gotten from the townspeople is that they believe that the tower gives life. Outside of the tower's radius or outside the walls takes away life, and so they don't want to leave. Like, they firmly believe that, and so there's no real reason to leave except to get whatever concoction of leaves or flora that they made that tea with, or to get fauna to eat, right? Especially with the things that are out there, and protecting themselves from the people outside in the blue cloaks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't believe in democracy in this situation, but
Sure.
my vote would be our hosts have been nothing but benevolent and helping us, and I don't think we have any reasonable reason, that was redundant, to be suspicious of them or think that they would cause us any harm. They could have just left us to the spider people.
What I just saw was madness made liquid. If this thing should rupture, it could be the end of us all. I recommend we get it repaired.
I look at Arri and Zariff. Hey.
Well,
I agree.
sounds.
I'm willing to take a look at it to see if I could even repair it, because I've got tools to repair my arm and stuff. Maybe there's some Numenera way I can figure that out and repair that.
Sure.
We also know that
offer-
this blue threading tends to... We fixed the mast, right? We fixed the sail. It, like, repairs itself.
So
maybe
you know-
maybe this is normal. Maybe they have a bunch of bales of this stuff. They can go to Joanne's. They bring it. They fix the tower. You never know.
So I'll give you this because you've rolled several Numenera checks at a success. You know that there are obviously more sheets of this this fabric, right? This weave, because it's used in some of their other buildings. But now that you've been intimately up close with it, it is not the same as the sails. It is similar, but not the same as the sails.
Okay.
We don't want to be hearing about him getting intimate with the tower.
Listen, what you do with your tower is your own business.
Hmm.
Don't worry, it's family friendly. It's thinly veiled.
No, nobody made that claim.
So yeah,
Alright,
you
so,
guys are just sort of
how-
debating in here.
How do we go about? I've apparently been outvoted on the information letting, so we're gonna have to tell them. But first, we're gonna need to find him. So, how do we go about finding Bonobo?
So you were told that there is a guard that will be posted outside your tent. He seems to have let you come and go as you saw fit, and you were given a name of the person who led you in here, who seems to be at least running that squad or a team of guards, or hell, all of them for all you know.
Oh, El Dorado.
El Dorado,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sorry,
Jarl
I'm waiting a long time to get
Corrado.
I'm sorry, El
Ah, well
Burrito?
done. Well done.
Jarl Corrado.
Well done. Yeah, so you know that you were kind of given permission to say, hey, this is my name. If you need anything, come get me.
Yep. Well, there you go.
All right. So you
So
step
you
out
send
there.
him off then.
Yeah.
Or-
So you step out there to get the guard to go send him to get El Dorado. And you guys are still in here debating for a good 5-10 minutes as the guard kind of comes back by. The guard opens the tent flap and you see Jarl walk in, dips his head and kind of walks in and he says, "What can I do for you?"
We were hoping to speak with your chieftain, Bonobo.
Yes, this can be arranged. It is almost nightfall. You will be staying here. Yes?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
This way. And the guard is still holding the tent flap open, and he kind of dips his head and ducks out. And he begins leading you around the tower towards one of the other yurts. Zariff and Arri, you would notice this yurt. It is the largest of the ones that you passed around. It seems to be much more... It's not like a half moon. It seems to be much more full. So, like, the back, if it's like an octagon, one of the 8 sides is the one that's touching it. So it kind of juts out a little bit more. He leads you kind of around to that one, and there are 2 more guards on the other side of that. And he opens the tent flap and ushers you all inside. Do you all kind of push in there?
Absolutely
Can you
going.
describe the scene to us? Like what's inside this yurt?
Nope. You get nothing.
Nope.
No. So yeah, as you guys dip your heads, you see that there is. This is probably the most lavish setting in here. Not lavish in the sense that this guy has more than the other people. It just there is ornate things here. Like you can see that this is like an ornate desk that you actually, Silica, you would see this in like an office setting. This is the level of comfortability you have. Like he has actual chairs that are also ornate and have like carvings in them. So like your guess and maybe a few of the rest of you as well. This doesn't seem like it belongs on this island, judging by the rest of the things that have been here. And you look, there's a man that's sitting behind there, and he has inkwells and scrolls, and he has a bunch of like devices that kind of whiz and move around. And he looks up to you, and the first thing you notice that just snaps your attention to him is his face is a blur, like it's constantly moving around. And as you kind of like look at him and like, what the hell is this? It stops and shifts, and it looks like a normal face. And he looks to you, and he says, "Welcome. Welcome. Sit."
I'll take a seat.
Jarl tells me you've come to my island.
Yes, great and benevolent Bonobo. We have been very pleased with the hospitality you've extended to us as we adventure to find the cause of the great storm that has surrounded your seas and your island here.
And how is it that you propose that you do this?
Zariff?
Your island is unknown to our peoples. It was an utter shock when the closed bulb of the flower, appeared before our ship. We went to investigate because the storm seemed to skirt the area around your island. When it opened up, we set to explore to find if there was some link, some possible connection to this storm, so that we might find a way to stop it. We are looking for any information that one might have, be it yourselves or whoever, and then we would be on our way.
He kind of sits back in his chair and folds his hands. And you see he's almost looking through you, as if there was someone behind you. And as he kind of relaxes into this, he says, "So you come to my island, inquisitive and offering aid. The storm doesn't affect me. It seems to affect you. What do I have to gain by helping you?"
We have been sent personally by King Laird of the Steadfast Continent. I'm actually not sure if that's the name of the continent, but
The Steadfast is what it's called.
the Steadfast. And he has many shipping and trade routes that need to go through these seas, and perhaps an agreeable arrangement can be made on his behalf.
Oh, the City of Bridges. He leans forward, seemingly knowing exactly the location you're discussing.
I was going to say, that's weird.
Yeah. And he has like a very, not creepy, but like a very knowing smile stretches across his face. And he says, "Well, now I'm interested. Shipping lanes, you say?" And then you see his eyes flit and like move to something in the back of the tent. And again, you see his face blur and then change. And now his face is far more aggressive. And you feel, Arri, you feel someone clamp a thin, wiry hand down on your shoulder, your metal one, and sort of force your shoulder forward, exposing your sun tattoo. And you look up, and there is a thin, wiry female darting quickly, eyes back and forth, looking at all of you. And as your shoulder is exposed, you all simultaneously feel the shutters of the tower stop. And that's where we'll end tonight's episode.
No!
Boom! Cool. So, guys, that was episode 3, The City at the Center of Saber Dice Numenera Fury. So let's go around, get your thoughts on this episode, and remind us who you are, where we can find you, and who our sponsors are today. So we'll start with Kenny. Kenny, what did you think, and where can we find you?
With the storytelling and the tie, I'm just so excited to see like where the tie-ins go with the story. And what's my name again? Where do I oh yeah. So you can find me at twitch.tv/Kenny Hill. It's KENIHILL. I promise I don't actually have this bad of a memory, but I'm glad you guys seem to be enjoying.
I am enjoying it. We'll jump over to Jordan. What'd you think, and where can we find you?
A lot of fun. I want to say, Wyloch, that was awesome with the idea of like phasing through the thing. Like that opened up all these doors, and I was just like, "What is happening?" So super, super fun, and I mean, my curiosity's peaked, so I'm really excited. You can find me here on YouTube. I am Jordan with a silent PH in the middle, and if you search that or Forgotten Realms Explained, you'll find my channel all about Forgotten Realms lore.
Sweet. And speaking of Wyloch's awesome idea, Bill, who are you, and what did you think about tonight's episode?
Herbology. You never know when flowers will be handy.
That's true.
I'm on YouTube, a channel called Wyloch's Crafting Vids. I show you how to use really cheap stuff like cardboard and hot glue to DIY craft your own terrain for your tabletop games.
Sweet. And last but not least, Ted, what'd you think? Where can we find you, and who are our sponsors?
It was really great. We didn't have the demoralization of really bad rolls over and over and over and over again.
You guys did pretty well tonight.
So we had a number of mini crits that were pretty awesome.
Yep.
There's definitely some questions I have to ask both in game and out of game about what's going on. So it's really really getting me in. If you want to find Nerdarchy, you can basically search Nerdarchy everywhere, and we're kind of there. The website, the YouTube, Twitch, social media, blah blah blah. We talk about all kinds of gaming, RPG, and mostly 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Sweet.
So our sponsors, as so far, we've got Archania Workshop, really great terrain and miniatures, all 3D printed. You place your order, he pushes the button, it prints and ships right to you. So good stuff, as well as Dungeon Painter Studios, pyromancers.com. If you want to design and make your own maps that you can use as game materials, go check them out.
Sweet. And for all those aspiring players and DMs out there, I know if you're here on YouTube and watching this video, you've looked up other videos on how to do this kind of thing. Know that today we used 2 lines out of my entire 1-page prep in this entire episode. We did nothing that I thought we were going to do, and I loved every second of it. That was dope. All the things you guys came up with was sort of on the fly and had to adapt as the game went, so that was pretty awesome. My favorite sessions are improv sessions like this, so that was awesome. You guys killed it, and your roles killed it to match your ideas, which was great. It's always nice when things come together, and if you want to see more of me, I'll be here every Monday for the next 9 weeks, and then you can see me over on my YouTube or my Twitch at Unmade Gaming. You can follow me on all my social media there. And for that, it's that's it. We're done, guys. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.
Bye.